Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. Today in this tutorial, we are going to use the icons along with the header classes that we used in our previous tutorials. Stay tuned. Now in our previous tutorial so far, we had learned all about the text formatting. We had learned how to use page heading classes, how to work with the content heading classes, and then we had learned about using variety of segments into our project. In this tutorial, we are about to learn how to use the icons along with the header classes. Now in doing so, the very basic thing that we are going to do in the first case, we will be creating a brand new container. So definitely we will be creating first a container. In the next case, we will be using a grid. This is grid. And in the next case, we will be using a row. Next, we will be using the column class, and there we go, we are now ready to go. So right now we are about to use the icon along with the header class into our project. So in doing so, the first thing that we are about to do, we are about to create the h2 header tag. Next, we are about to specify the class. Now in our previous case, we had seen that we had used the UI huge header class in this respect, and we have put everything inside that we are about to display under this header section. But here in the first case, instead of this UI huge header or large or medium or small or tiny, instead of using all those header classes, we will be using an entirely separate class which is known as icon. In the second case, we will be using an I class as we had used in case of font awesome icons. And here in this class, we will be defining the exact name of the icon that we intend to use, and it will be known as sign language icon. Now this entire class name here, if you wish to use a different class name over here, then all you need to do, head back and here type as UI Semantic icons, and in that particular case, the very exact first link that will be shown, that will be displayed into your search page, right click and open up the link in a new tab, and you should be seeing that the icon page of their official website is practically loaded. So you may have a look into it for the icons, for the class names they have used in this respect. But right now we will be concentrating in creating our project so far. Now this is the first thing that we have used right over here. Press Ctrl S, head back to your project envelope, and we can see that this is going to be the result. Now for say we are about to use writing or text right over here, and we wish that all of them should be placed in an inline manner. So let's head back to our project, and in the very first case we will be using another class of div class content, and in the next case we will be using a class known as subheader. This is not hyphen. No hyphen should be used over here, except that we'll be using a space if we have a closer look into our code so far that we have created here, we can see that each of these components, this is the I class, this is the icon class practically that we are using in this manner. Next comes the content class, and then comes the subheader class used along another div element. So all of them are practically put into this individual header tag that we had created earlier. So now if we press Ctrl S and head back to our project and reload, we can see that this is the result so far. So we haven't put anything into the div class subheader that we had created. Now here comes another thing. First of all, let's copy some kind of dummy text from the top and let's copy them. Let's place them right over here. Press Ctrl S, head back to your project and reload. And now you can see that bam, all of these contents, those are practically getting centrally aligned. You can see that this same hand icon that we had created earlier, which was once lying in the left part of our site, all of them are practically lying at the center of your page. Now before inspecting anything else, first of all, let's press Ctrl+Shift+M, and in the prior case, let's switch back to the mobile responsive preview, and we can see that the central alignment is still on. Next, we may put here this 768 pics and we can see the result. So the result is the same. The entire H2 class here, it is practically lying at the center of your page. Now let's press Ctrl+Shift+M again and let's head back to our desktop preview. And here, if we now right click on this hand icon and inspect our element, we can see practically that here comes the class, this UI icon header icon, and it says that the float should be none. So the display will be block. As we can see that here goes the result if the display is not block and if the display is block. Now we won't be making any changes right over here. Here comes this H2 class where the display is set to inline block. Have a closer look right over here. The UI icon header, it has a display of inline block. Now let's head back to our text editor, and instead of this icon header right now, let's replace the class icon with the normal content heading class huge that we had learned earlier. Now if we press Ctrl S, head back to our project and reload, and now we can see that the hand icon and the content class, both of them are practically inline. Let's inspect our element again, and this time we can see that this I class sign language icon, it is having a display of table cell. Now for the time being, let's head back to our text editor again, and instead of this huge class, we will be turning back this icon class again. Press Ctrl S, head back to our project and reload, and now we can see that this same I class, it has a display of block. But whenever we are turning on this huge class here instead of this icon class, and if we head back and reload, we can see that the same exact display is returning back. The hand icon is at an extreme end, the left hand corner of your H2 header class that you have created, and the display is turned into table cell. So we can see that instead of using an icon class, if we use a normal content heading class, we are practically able to float the entire content of both the icon and the content class into an extreme end. Now instead of huge, if we use here this small class, we will be seeing the result. Head back, reload, and you can see that the class small is now turned on. Instead of this small, if we now use this large class, so reload, and you can see that the font size is now increased. In the similar fashion, if instead of this large class, if we use here this tiny class, and if we reload, we can see that the font size will be getting smaller and smaller again and again. And instead of this tiny class, if we now use this icon class, so let's switch back to the icon header with which we had initiated earlier. And if we now reload, we can see that the same exact thing is now turning on. The text alignment is at the center. Inspect your element, and you can see that this I-class sign language, so the display block and every other things are right now back. Now of course all of these things can be customized with the custom CSS which will be created by you. So it is a matter of later discussion where we'll be seeing how to customize properly our UI semantic classes into an order to fit into our project in a proper and in an oriented fashion. So this is it up to this tutorial. In this tutorial practically we had learned about using the default UI semantic theming classes into our project. So if you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then,